Hello and welcome to Manifesting Napoleon Hill Tuesday. Many times we are looking for ways to help convince ourselves that what we're going after is possible. We have to have some type of faith that what I believe in, what I desire, what I want is possible to have. But sometimes inside of us, we have that voice that is filling us with doubt and fear and what ifs and can I do this? Or even sometimes, what will my family say? What will my friends say? I'm quitting a good job to pursue my dreams, or I'm starting a second business, working full time, and I'm doing a business. Why am I doing this? Are you one of those people? I dare say that every person who decides to start their own business, to strike out on their own, or even find a specific position in a company, or to attain or to try to go to a level within their organization that seems impossible. Or you're in the scientific community and you're bucking the system and you're telling them what you've been teaching us has been all wrong. You need to look this way. Inside is that fear. And what we need to do in order to combat that fear is develop the faith that we can do what we desire. And part of that faith is developing the self-confidence to move forward. The self-confidence to say, I can do it. The self-confidence to say, this is possible. And so Napoleon Hill said, I got that for you. I'm going to tell you what it takes to take that little small thing, that piece of that faith, that piece that's called self-confidence, and develop it. So that's what we're talking about today, developing self-confidence. So, Beverly Fells Jones, Silver Fox of Consciousness, and yes, self-confidence. So those of you who may have the book Think and Grow Rich, that's where I am today. And I am in the chapter on faith. Now, he talks in the beginning of the chapter about faith and developing it, but further in, after he talks about that, he really talks about why he has you take your statement of what you want to create and read it every day, or to access it every day. Because in the beginning, when we first decide, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to do it, all the steps, we may be feeling a churning inside of our stomach. We may be feeling like, this is impossible, and we have to keep reading this because there's something that happens. Something, I don't want to really use the word magical, but it is, that happens inside of us and outside of us that starts bringing things into our world that helps it do it. We begin to say, this is true. I look at today and things that are going on, and people basically say, the more you tell the story, the more people will believe it, even if it's a lie, and they see the truth. But they'll start to believe the untruth because they've been told it over and over and over again until finally something hits them and they see the truth, and it's like, oh, it's, the word is dissonance, right? Cognitive dissonance. It's something that is like, oh, that's a boat. Oh, that's what a boat is? When they thought something else was it. And that's just an example. But he talks about the fact that we need to look at what we desire on a daily basis and repeat what it is. And he goes on to talk about why he has you write it out. And here's what he says. This is why you are asked to write out a statement of your major purpose or your definite chief aim. Commit it to memory and repeat it in audible words day after day until these vibrations of sound reach your subconscious mind, because your subconscious has to be on board with what you desire. Now, this thing about fear and doubt, well, he asks you to throw off that information, those influences. Get out of the environment that causes you to doubt yourself, or the environment where you're hearing, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? Nobody in our family has ever done that, or nobody in our neighborhood has ever done that, or nobody in our company has ever done that. Be a pioneer. You know in your mind that there's something that you need to do, or if there's something you need to clarify. Sometimes we have ideas, and until we try it and see if it works, then we'll never know. But so many times we hear the words, well, we've never done it that way. We've always done it this way. Why do you want to change things? Everything is good the way it is. But what you're thinking is that you can make it better. Remember, a lot of businesses, a lot of people have made a lot of money by solving a small problem. Let me give you an example for me. So I get in a car or my truck and I put on the seatbelt. But for many years, that seatbelt would hit me right about here. And I don't know how many of you may have experienced. Hit me right about there. And I would pull the seatbelt over, or I'd try to figure out something. Some brilliant person came along and created a clip to put on the seatbelt that moved it over just enough for us short-waisted people, that it didn't hit us in the neck. I never thought of that. Never even thought of. It's like I could have taken a hair clip, or, the bag, the little clips that you hold the bag. They made $1 million. They made a lot of money on that one little idea. What little thing is irritating you that you've solved the problem for, but you didn't think about commercializing it? Okay. However, we don't have the self-confidence to step out and say, look what I've created. Well, look what I've created at the patent office. Okay, we don't want somebody else to get the idea. So Napoleon Hill created this formula for self-development. And that's what I want to cover. And so there are 5 steps, 5 things that you need to do, or you need to say to yourself. So these are affirmations to yourself. This is a contract with yourself. This is a contract. This is, I have no choice. These are the things I need to do. And if you type out this contract and put it on the wall, or put it on your mirror in your bathroom, or put it on your desk, or somewhere where you're working that you can see it on a regular basis, on the dashboard of your car, you will start reading it and it'll start becoming part of you. So let me go through those 5 steps to self-confidence development. The first thing, the first statement you'll say to yourself is, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand, and that's in caps, of myself persistent, continuous action toward this attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. So what does that mean to you? Basically, it means you're going to do something every day, every week, every month to move yourself forward in what you want to do. If you want to get a college degree, well, you got to get into college. You got to do the things to get into the college. And sometimes, you got to do above and beyond in order to get into the college of your choice. Even if you don't get into college of your choice, you're getting into college. And then you have to get your books and set up your classes. And then you've got to figure out how to study for each one of those and learn the information. Don't just learn it to pass the tests. Learn it. Bring the information inside of you in such a way that you know it. And then pass the tests. And then keep doing the things you need to do in order to graduate from college each and every day. If you're starting a business, then you need to do each and every day whatever the steps are required to start the business and run the business and to get the business. Every day, something small, something you need to do in order to accomplish that. He says, I demand of myself persistent and continuous action to attain that goal. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in an outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. And I've talked about this all the time. You look around you, you look at your lifestyle, you look what's in your life, and it is a direct result of how you thought and how you currently think. And this is, can I do it, can't do it, I'm not going to do it, I don't care what it is, I'm not capable, I am capable, I want this, I want that. Whatever you think is reflected in your world around you. He said, so therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clearer mental picture of that person. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be when you grow up? It is amazing that this does happen. I've told the story many times of looking at certain women in a certain area of town in Pittsburgh, and I said, I want to be like them. 20 years later, I look in the mirror, I look at them, and I go, look at that. It was a look that I wanted to attain. It was a persona that I wanted to attain. And it wasn't that every day for me, but when I said I wanted to attain it, it went into my subconscious somehow. And I didn't understand how all this worked back then. But I saw the culmination of that. That was 2. Number 3, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object that I desire. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. So you're just saying, this is what I want. So I've got 30 minutes thinking about who I want to be, 10 minutes saying, developing that self-confidence. That's number 3. So right now, that's 40 minutes out of your day. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. So you've got to know what you know, that you are going to be able to accomplish it. You have the capability of doing whatever you want. And somebody said, well, I'm not smart enough. How do you know? I don't have the degree. Look, there's millionaires who had a 4th grade education. There's people who have gotten through 8th grade, never got their high school diploma, but they figured out something that they truly desired, and guess what? They achieved it. 5th, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Now, this is a long one, so I'm going to paraphrase. But basically, you're not going to do any transaction that does not benefit the people around you. You will attract to yourself the forces that you want to use in cooperation with other people. In other words, you're not going to be a crook. In other words, you're going to be honest. In other words, you're going to give $1.25 for every dollar somebody gives you. You're going to give more than what's asked for. It's not going to be detrimental to you. And I say $1.25, that means I'm going to put more effort into it. So when I have coaching clients, I give them more than they expected. I give all of me so that they realize their dreams. What are you doing? On your job, are you just showing up on clocking in on time and just getting there just in time to get started? And are you really low energy on your job and, just doing what's necessary? Versus being there 5 minutes early, ready to go to work at your job, full of energy, giving help to those who do it. I mean, even if you're counting widgets, it doesn't matter. If you're a typist, if you're doing research, are you enthusiastic? You never know who's watching you. You never know if the boss is watching you and saying, they come in early, they stay late, they get their work done on time, they do more than we ask of them. Let's talk to them about getting a promotion. Or, I saw this person working at that store. Go find out if they're interested in coming to work for us. You never know who is watching you. So you need to be on your best behavior wherever you are and whatever you're doing. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you talk to people, the way you talk about people is being watched. Basically, he says, I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Because he knows a negative attitude toward others will bring you negativity. What goes around comes around. Those are the 5, right? The first one, I know I have the ability to do it. The second one, I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day thinking about the person that I want to become. The third one, I'm going to spend 10 minutes a day working on my self-confidence and knowing and doing things for self-confidence. And that just brought up an example. Many, many, many years ago, I was in the store. Let's say the deli department. I think it was the deli department. And I had been and this was before they had you pulled the numbers. And I was standing there, and This person was waiting on someone, and I was patiently standing there. And this gentleman walks up, and he's waiting. And she finishes with the person, let's say this person on my left. And she turns to the new guy that just came in and says, "How can I help you?" I got livid. And I spoke up. Normally, in that time frame, I would just go, okay, maybe he's in a hurry. I spoke up and I said, "Wait a minute, I'm next." And she looked at me strangely and said, "Oh, I didn't know that you were next." She knew I was next. She had seen me. She looked me in the eye. But this other person, this man, walked up. And she decided to wait on him and ignore me. Well, that was the first time, I'm serious, that's why I remember it so well, that I spoke up and didn't allow myself to be overlooked. That was a day of self-confidence. Do you have a day or a time when you remember that you sucked it up and said, "No, I'm not going to let this happen," and took your place and spoke up for yourself? Self-confidence. The fourth one, keep trying in that definite aim until it's completed. And fifth, be honest, live in integrity, and give more than what you got. And the last thing, and this is why I say you type it out, write it out, put it somewhere, says, "I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so I will become a self-reliant and successful person." I know my videos are always kind of long, but there's a point. And the point is that you have the capability to become the person that you want to be. You have the capability of becoming the person that I know you can be. The one thing, it takes effort. And if doing this, getting the book, 1937 version of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, by doing this and typing this out, or actually, I would prefer if you wrote it out, and I know it's a lot to write, so you want to take your time. By putting pen to paper, you have a connection between what you have written and your brain. It's like, comes right up your arm, it goes to your brain, and it helps access your subconscious mind. It's been proven scientifically that even though we type it, and as we type, we always are thinking the words while we're typing, but that does not have the same connectivity as actually writing it out. So, thank you for watching today, and put this to work. Put some comments down below and tell me how you have implemented these things, or to ask some questions, or tell me some of the things that you've been implementing in your life since watching Manifesting Napoleon Hill Tuesdays. I want you to take care, and I will see you in my next video.